All right, here we go. Let's get right into this here. So last time I went through the first two chord progressions here, right? G minor C D, C A minor F G. Now we're going to go through these two. So I'll talk through the chord changes, I'll talk through the rhythms, and then we will understand how to play the rhythms, and then we'll play along with Guitar Pro here. It'll be at a 80 beats per minute, and we will get a 4-beat count in. And I'll explain that, I guess, when we get to it. So, all right, here we go. A, B7, E, E7. You know, this may be, for some of you, this may be, you know, an unknown chord. For some of you may know it. It may be a tricky chord for you to play through. But here, let's just run through the chords. So A major. What do we have here? I'm going to move this so we can see the left hand just a little bit better. We got second finger on the second fret of the D string. Index is on the first fret of the G string, and then your second fret of the G string, and then your ring finger is on the second fret of the B string. So all the fingers are on the second fret. You're going to squeeze them in. That's why I like to go 2, 1, 3. Some people do 1, 2, 3. I prefer 2, 1, 3. Now when we go to B7, well, let's just not start picking our fingers up here and just aimlessly, you know, not having any idea where we're going. It's always good to know, to have a game plan here when you go to a new chord, especially if you're learning new chords. So what I think the best move here is to use the middle finger, right? Just move this up one. That's all it has to do, right? It's right here, right now. So it's right here, and all it has to do is go from here to there, right? Just go from there to there. So we bring it up, and then hopefully the index finger pops up too to this first fret of the D string. So they're already in the shape they need to be in. And the ring finger just comes up one. So it's like everything's coming up one, except the index needs to go back a fret. It's really not that bad. And then the pinky comes down on the second fret of the high E string. So the B string's got to be open. Alright? I'm very relaxed here. Now you can see some space in here. Right, there's none of this going on. There's none of this going on. My arm is relaxed here. And my fingers are essentially pretty relaxed here. You know, you can push them in. So I'm not a rock. My wrist is basically what it is at rest. While your arm hangs at rest, there's a slight curvature in your wrist that pretty much maintains, for the most part. Every once in a while it may poke out a little bit for me, but overall it's very rarely when I play open chords you're ever going to see me getting my left hand really in this position. It's just not going to happen. Your finger, you can see your fingers get flat. So if any of you are having troubles out there getting strings to ring out when you play chords, it could all just be because your wrist is up too high. And you need to drop it underneath to allow space in here, right? You can see the space, right? B7 to E. Well, middle finger is already where it needs to be, right? It's right here, right now. It needs to go, right? It needs to stay there. So then I bring my ring finger up one and make my index finger come down one. And my pinky just lifts up, gets out of the way. So very, very small moves, very not, you know, no wasted motion, energy. Everything's just going right where it needs to go. And you gotta remember, I'm teaching, I'm playing these chords every day, constantly reinforcing them, but I also do lots of exercises that have good finger independence, which allows me to be able to move each finger on its own very well. And then from E to E7, well, that's simple too. We just lift up the ring finger. I may be back a little bit with my middle finger, so when I lift up my middle ring finger, I'm going to push that middle finger up just to make sure it's as close to the front of the fret as possible. You know, if you get on top of it, it'll mute out. Right behind it. Okay, now we got to remember we're going back to A. So let's understand what we need to do from E7 to go back to A. Well, here's why I like to form A with fingers 2, 1, 3, because my first finger, this is what we call a guide finger, because it's already on the string it needs to be on, but it just needs to come up to the second fret from the E to the A, right? So as I go to A now, my index slides up Now I popped up a little bit there. You're never going to see me popping fingers off strings when I change chords. I just wanted you to see how that's just sliding up. Then I formed my A. So my middle finger just dropped down 1. And my ring finger dropped down. My ring finger dropped down 2. So really nice to have a guide finger. Anytime we can stay in contact with the guitar when we're playing, that's good. Alright, so you may have to work through these a little bit, but now let's get into the rhythm side of things here. Okay? Let's see here. Oh, right there is good. Alright, what do we have here for the rhythm? We got 1, 2, rest on 3, then and 4, rest on the and of 4. So this is beat 3, this is beat 4. So we have 1, let me count it, let me tap it on my mic here. So we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'll say the and of 4 too, so you know that I'm resting on it. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay, so now when we go to play that, you can see there we got 2 down strums because the first 2 beats are quarter notes. We got 1, 2. Right, but then now we got a mute. So you're really going to come with a down strum. 1, 2, 3. And you're just going to let your right hand here just fall. 1, 2, 3. So my right hand just falls down to stop the strings. But now in this case, because it's an 8th note pattern, I want to come with an up strum for the and of 3 and then down for the and of for beat 4, but then I want to rest on the and of 4. So we get 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. So that can be a little funky. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that'll be the whole thing. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now there, because I have some fingers free, I could have also used my left hand at times, especially for the E7. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I can just rest these fingers here on the strings without pushing down. I'm just setting them on the string without pushing down, right? So I'm just resting without pushing down. I'm just setting them on there, and that mutes them out. Try to do the best I can, then make sure I use my right hand here for what we're doing today. Okay, so here we go. So I'm about to hit play, and what we're going to do is we're at 80 beats per minute. We're going to get a 4-beat count in, and then you're going to see it scrolling by. You're going to hear the metronome, and I'll be playing to it and counting it. So each chord progression is played twice. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 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 4. All right. So go slow. Right? You use YouTube, slow it down, bring your own beat up, whatever you got to do. Speed's not important, doing it right is. Okay, let's do the next progression. So we got F, A7, D minor, and then we got 2 chords within 1 bar. So that could be a little bit of a challenge. A minor, C. So this one here, the F. Now, for some of you, if you know your full bar F, you can use that, right? I may in fact use that. You could use this one. You could use this one. So it doesn't really matter what F you use. Whatever one you think you can do. A7, D minor. Okay, so let's take that you're playing your F like this, like I have it shown. Okay. So we're barring across the B and the E string in the first fret. And I'm more on the side of the finger here. Let me go back to this. I'm more on the side of the finger, right? I'm not straight across like this. I'm on this, kind of on the side, angled. Fingers are angled here. Middle finger's on the second fret of the G string, and the ring finger's on the third fret of the D. So that's the tough part for people right there, is getting this the bar to go down. Right? It's not easy. You may need to put your thumb underneath just a little bit more, right? To get, let's see here, to get a little bit more leverage for that. So now we go to A7. I'm going to go 2, 3. So I'm going to make my middle finger go up 1 fret. So here's a case where somebody would do this 2, 3, and they would probably lead with the ring finger, because they want to get it down here on the second fret of the B string. So they pull this finger back, and all the fingers would come with it, right? They'd pull this back, and then they'd put that middle finger up there. When you just start getting, it's hard for me to even do, you start getting this. Where if you lead with the middle finger, then you're pushing that up first, and then the ring finger can come in right underneath it. Right? So you get more of that. In the end, it's really very simple to think about, not always do. If you just really think about, every finger needs to go in a straight line directly where it needs to go. I mean, that's the quickest way to any point, is a straight line. So, I'm not going to move this ring finger down here and pull these away and then bring this back. All right, A minor or A7 to D minor. Well, I can hear now, so this would make sense to just drop the middle finger right down from the D string of the second fret to the G string. And then I bring my ring finger into play to the third fret of the B string, and then I bring my index finger on the high E string of the first fret. So I already feel like right now, with the way my fingers are for the A7, that I'm almost already in the D minor shape. And you can see, again, this is a very effortless motion to do this for me. Yeah, so again, they might try to get that first finger down. So they lift up the A7, they go to get that finger down, they pull all these fingers, and then they're coming back and they're putting down, right? That's not what we want to do. You see how each finger is essentially going right where it needs to go. So always know what finger you're going to lead with. D minor to A minor. Well, the middle finger needs to go back up from where it just was, from the A7. So I'm going to bring it up. The ring finger is going to come in underneath it, and the index finger is going to go up 1. So they're all kind of coming back up. So you're leading with the middle finger. And then to go to C from A minor is pretty easy. You just got to take the ring finger and move it up to the third fret of the A string. So you can see it's right here right now. It needs to go to there. From here to there gets you to C. Pretty simple. Now my middle finger may be back a little bit to make room for the ring finger on the A minor, so when I go up to C, I may push my middle finger up. Like I said, I'm always shooting for the front of the frets. Just pulling back. So there'd be no reason to lift these two fingers up here. No reason to lift these two up, because you're just going to put them right back down. So it would make no sense to lift and put down. You just move the ring finger. Okay, now we got to remember, we got to go back. We got to go back to F from C. Well, if you do the full bar version, let's tell you this, you don't have to move the ring finger. It's already where it needs to be on the third fret of the A string. So if we're at that C, I'm leaving the ring finger, my middle finger is dropping down 1, and you can see how all this is happening with it. I'm establishing the bar, and then the pinky comes into play. So essentially I'm working around the ring finger by not moving. you know, depending on how my calluses are, I mean, there's some days they're just a little weird, you know, and so I may make a little bit of a shift move here, but it's very small. There can be no popping up or anything like that. Okay, so once again, just, you know, you may work each chord pair on its own for a little bit. You may just go F to, or see, you're doing this, F to A7, work A7 to D minor a little bit, right? Okay, the rhythm. So right there, about there was good. The rhythm, what do we have here? Well, these are all eighth notes, and we got a quarter note at the end. So really the count is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Very simple. What's going to make this challenging for some of you is going to not only be the chords, some of the chords, maybe the F, but the palm slap. So this X here represents a hit, right? A percussive, you know, a palm slap. So here, I'm going to play it once so you can hear it, and then we're going to just talk about what to do with the slap. So here's what it sounds like. So let me do this. Let me come over here now. All right. So that's what I'm doing to get the slap. So this right here is hitting. That's coming down first, right? And then the pick. It's really quick. It's just this, the pick, and then I'm rotating through, but I'm not ever coming off here. This is always sticking on the strings, right? So when you come up here, you can see that all the strings are completely muted out. So this is what I would do, especially if you have an acoustic guitar. Take your left hand away, put it on your left leg, and just be able to do this. You know, it's one of these things that you think would be simple, it looks simple, but you know, for some people this is a very, very challenging thing to do. So if you watch me do it as I play, I should have done this is what I should have done before. So here's what it'd be like. Let me count it as I do it too. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. By the way, the hits are on 2 and 4. That's the backbeat of a bar. So that's like a drummer, you know, 1 and 2, hitting the snare, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So that's the back. So that's where we're putting the hits on 2 and 4. So 1 and 2 and, let's see here, like right here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Okay. So otherwise it's all just down, up, down, up, down, up. If you did it without the hit, it'd be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I mean, that's pretty simple. So, but all of a sudden you put that hit in there, and it's not. And by the way, I forgot to say this before. When I play the D minor chord, I play it with my pinky at times, whereas I may have, and most people are going to play it with their ring finger. It's perfectly fine. I'm just, in case you guys saw me using my pinky, I just want you to know that, you know, fingerings aren't subjective. I mean, I could form an E minor with 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. It depends on the song or the progression, right? So just realize that. That's why I might do a D minor with my pinky, because I have my ring finger free to play like a bass line or something. Okay, anyway. Here we go. So we're gonna do it now, right? We're gonna play along. We got 2 times through with the beat, with the Guitar Pro. So, and I'm gonna play my F. I'll do it like this. Here we go. 1. No, I just dropped my pick. Let's try it again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. No, I'm goofing up now. Give me a second here. Let's try it again. I promise I have it this time. 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Alright. Maybe I can edit that, what I was goofing up there, but otherwise, that's it for this. I got 4 more left, so I'll do a couple more videos here soon for those. Have fun. Any questions, let me know. Thanks.